Hey, what's up guys, Luke Profits. I just wanted to come on here and do a quick video. I just got off a Skype call with a person who's been having a whole lot of problems with his virtual assistants. And yeah, there's just some stuff I wanted to talk about. So, when you're hiring a virtual assistant, I feel like way too many people, like this guy in particular, but way too many people, in general, think that they need to hire somebody that already knows what they're doing, that's just going to solve all their problems for $3 an hour. And that's not really how it works. Like, some VAs, will try to learn stuff. A lot will try to learn stuff so that they kind of have a clue, but that's not really what they should need to do. You shouldn't, when you go to hire somebody, you shouldn't, say you work at, I don't know, a bank or Subway or whatever. You don't just walk in, get hired, and then they just say cool, and then just expect you to show up and know how to do everything. Like, you have to get trained a little bit, and the easier the thing is, the less training. But if you're never seeing the person physically in person, because they're virtual assistants, you're never seeing them in person. Like, you're just gonna let them go rogue on your dropshipping business without training them? Like, what? No, that doesn't make any sense. So instead of trying to find somebody that already knows what they're doing, find somebody that, is sort of detail-oriented. They, seem like a cool person, like they know what they're doing. Not they know what they're doing as in that they're trained, but that they're confident, they're willing to learn, all that stuff. And then train them just like you would train your mom, okay? If your mom was going to start managing your dropshipping business for you, then how would you train her? You'd probably, make a screen recording, because you couldn't, physically go there to show her. I mean, you could fly to the Philippines, but that's probably not the ideal way to train a virtual assistant, So, yeah, screen recording software. You can use if you've got NVIDIA, you can use Shadow Play, which is just for like video, games, stuff like that. GeForce Experience. That makes screen recording really easy. So that's what I use. But if you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, then you can't use that. But if you do, which is probably most people, then you'll be fine, and you can just use that GeForce, Shadow Play. But yeah, just record screen, screen share tutorials, order fulfillment. All right, thanks for joining the team. We're real excited to have you. So what we're going to be doing here is going over order fulfillment, and basically since we're drop shipping, when a customer buys from us, we just need to then buy it from the person, the supplier. So what you're going to do is you're going to log in here. All your information's in LastPass to be able to log in. Whatever, all that kind of stuff. You get the idea. Like, you're going to make a tutorial like you're doing it for your mom. This is what we do. This is how we're doing it. This is why. And make it, one thing at a time. Don't make one, massive video that's just everything. Because you would have trouble if you were trying to learn how to do this, or your mom was trying to learn how to do this. She would have trouble if you just put it all in one video and expect her to just totally memorize everything. So break it up into parts. This is order fulfillment. This is how we see the person who bought it from. You see their address. So we're going to go to the supplier. Look, we copy the title, or we're using the SKU or whatever to find the item in this spreadsheet of products. So we know this is the right item. Looks like the same thing. Now we're going to buy it. We're going to put in their address, and that's it. And then you just let your VA do that for a little while. Make sure they're comfortable with it. The first little bit, you can sort of have them screen share. You can use Quick Assist if they have Windows 10. You can kind of watch their screen. Be on an audio call and just sit there, watch them for an hour, make sure that they're doing everything correctly and they don't have any questions. And then if they're looking good, seems like they really know what they're doing, you trust them, then let them do it on their own. Double check, make sure it's correct. Sometimes these people very often are not from the United States, so they're usually from the Philippines. So there can be mistakes. Like, for example, if MO, the state with the abbreviation MO, it's Missouri. But a lot of people, you might think, oh, that's Montana, but it's no. The MT is Montana, MO is Missouri, right? So there can be little mistakes like that. It's expected when you're starting a business. Sometimes if you work at Subway, sometimes somebody's gonna drop a thing of bread on the floor and you lose $5, and that's fine. Sometimes the dropshipping order is gonna get sent to the wrong spot because they mess something up or whatever. But you say, hey, this is an issue. This went to the wrong spot. I understand, probably a mistake. Easy to overlook. You're new. You're doing great so far. Everything else has been awesome, but this messed up, and I don't, we can't have that continue to happen, of course. So, just try to, do whatever you need to do, make sure that's not going to happen. If you want to double check the state, you can just Google, what is the MO state? Oh, it's Missouri. You're going to have little problems and things, sometimes, but just, they're people, treat them, well, like normal people. And, if you're like, hey, we need to fix this, this is a problem, and they're just repeatedly screwing up, and they, you're giving them chances and they're just not getting any better, then fire them and then get a new person that's gonna, be able to do it. But it's, it's a business. You're paying people for their time, so they need to be like, while they're working for you, during their time on the clock, then they got to be, doing the stuff that you want them to do. And if they're just doing a terrible job, then fire them, hire somebody else. It's pretty straightforward and simple. But I think a lot of people are just looking for, oh, do you know how to do eBay? Do you know how to do Amazon? Do you know how to do Facebook? And the VA will be like, yeah, I sort of, I have a little bit of a, an idea on how to do that. And they're like, okay, cool. You start tomorrow. You get no training. It's like, that's such a problem. But people just don't seem to get it. Like, I personally, I do not care if they know literally anything when I hire them. As long as they, if they know how to, operate a computer, they know how to use Skype and Google Sheets, and, if they know that kind of stuff, then they're going to be fine. I'm looking for a person that I can trust that's going to do a really good job that I can then train to do well. And like I said, don't give them everything all at once. Do order fulfillment at first. Start with that, or whatever. It doesn't have to be order fulfillment. Whatever you want to start them with. I like to start with that because it's very straightforward. So start with whatever it is. Give them one thing. Let them do that for a little bit. And, once you're super confident, initially you want to sort of look over their shoulder, double check, try to find them doing something wrong so that you can be like, hey, actually, let's do it this way. Like, oh, I see you're doing it that way. Let's change that a little bit. But, if that's once you're done with that, once you're super confident that they know what they're doing, you don't have to like, oh, did they do it right? Oh, did they do it right? Once you stop worrying, then give them something else. Okay, now we're going to do adding tracking numbers, and that's real easy. You're just going to, look it up here, pop it in right there. Or, I mean, for eBay and Amazon, that's, you don't need to do that unless you're using really obscure suppliers, because TrackTheBot can handle that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, just give them a thing at a time, and once you're confident they know what they're doing, then bump them up. Give them more. Customer service, of course, can be a hard one, because that you sort of want to get templates for. So like what I like to do with that is just have them basically, get a message. Customer sends a message. I have the VA send the message to me. I reply to the message, but instead of me sending it to the customer, I send it to the VA. So I basically have the VA be a middleman. So customer right here, dropshipping customer sends us a message to my VA. They see it, they send it to me, and they say, what do we respond? I say, you respond this, and then they respond that. So that way they're sort of a middleman that's seeing all the communication back and forth, and I let them sort of make templates of the most common scenarios, and then eventually, after a few days of doing that, they sort of get the idea, and they know that the proper way that I want them to respond. They've seen how I've worded things, so they can sort of use that as a template, get their English down if it's if they don't speak perfect English, or type perfect English. And then I just sort of have them say, okay, then I have them start saying, okay, the customer said this, I would like to respond this, is that okay? And then I'll just say, give them a thumbs up, and then they'll know that they can respond to that with that message. So I do that sort of back and forth. Usually three or four of them will be good. One of them will be bad response, or not how I do it, or they'll just be like, hey, I don't really know how to respond to this one. So you just work with them and sort of get it down, and then eventually they know how to do everything, and you're not really, maybe once every few weeks they'll be like, what should I do about this? Because they'll have a question. But that's what I do about VAs. It's worked really well. I'd say like 25% of the people I hire don't end up working out, and after a few weeks I fire them because they just aren't really working very hard, aren't really trying. I'm just not seeing an effort to improve or anything like that. But 75% of the people that I've hired have been great. They're awesome. They're real happy to learn. Sometimes they make mistakes, but that's totally fine and expected, and they learn from them, they get better, and now I can just totally trust them. And, they're doing everything without my time and involvement. So I guess that's my main advice. Just when you're hiring VAs, treat it like a business. like you're literally, like, think of it like a physical business, right? If you had a physical business and you were hiring physical employees to come in and, you know, use your computer to do all this stuff, but you couldn't be there in person to show them how to do it, you'd want some pretty good training, because these people don't know anything other than, you know, maybe how to, you know, read email and, you know, Google Docs, Google Sheets, you know, all that, some of the basic stuff like that. Other than that basic knowledge, I assume they know nothing. Teach them everything, and yeah, it's always worked out very well for me. But the problems that I always hear is, you know, people, oh, I hired a VA and they suck. Oh, I hired a VA and they suck. Oh, I hired a VA and they suck. Well, if your VA sucks continually and you're having a string of terrible VAs that all suck, it's probably not the VA that sucks. It's probably you that suck, because you didn't train them at all and you just expected them to know everything. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. You know, train people. Train people for your business. Don't just expect them to know everything. Wow, shocker, right? Anyway, guys, hope it's helpful. And yeah, lots more content coming on this channel soon. Anyway, guys, that's it for the video. If you're new to dropshipping on Facebook, I've got a full free set of training videos down there, link in the description, that go over everything you need to know to start making money online. I also have a Facebook account management service where me and my team work on your account and get it up to making several $1,000s profit a month. We totally handle everything so that it's passive for you, and you get to keep 30% of the profits, and then we get 70% of the profits. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, basically just me and my team managing your account, go ahead and go to lukeprofits.com/manage, and I'll be in touch. I also do one-on-one Facebook dropshipping training, and if that's something that you'd be interested in, you can go to lukeprofits.com/apply, and I will hit you back. I post new content on this channel every couple days, so go ahead and subscribe and hit the notifications, and I'll be back here with another video in a couple days.